What's up, Daniels Den? It has been a little while. It hasn't been that long, but whatever. I had to come and share with you guys this amazing testimony. Like, I have to share this with y'all, okay? So, buckle up your seatbelt. Get ready. Get ready to be blessed, all right? Okay, so, first of all, let me just say, today is a self-care day. So, I have been just resting. I did go to the gym earlier, but I have been resting because your girl has been going. I haven't been getting no sleep. I haven't been doing none of this. So, excuse me if it looks like, like I've been resting, because I have. So, I'm using my little daylight. So, hopefully, I finish this video before the daylight is gone. If it does end up leaving, I'll just turn the lights on. But, yes, so, the testimony video about how I got my new place. Oh my gosh, y'all. So let me just rewind, okay? So for those who don't know, because I know it'll be people on here that may not know me personally, may not have me on social media, whatever like that. So just a backstory. I was living in my own place, and last year I was dealing with some things. I was dealing with depression. I am self-employed. I've been self-employed since 2020. So I started going through like a rough patch in my business, and I was having car problems and all of these things, like, y'all, everything that could go wrong, what's going wrong, okay? And so basically in October, I was facing eviction. And I actually had the eviction court paperwork. I actually had already been served with the eviction papers and stuff like that. Hold on, y'all. Phone ringing. Okay, anyway. So, I had been served with the eviction paperwork and stuff like that. And I just was crying and praying and praying and crying. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do. And basically, long story short, I ended up leaving my place, moving back in with my mom. So that was a very hard decision, y'all, because yeah, I did not want to move back in with my mom. I like my space, plus I work at home and I'm a fashion designer. So I need a lot of space. Like I need a lot of space. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and I pretty much had to move from that apartment to my mom's small guest room, me and Smooch, my dog. So, and I've been since then working in her dining room, and y'all, it was a mess, y'all. My mama didn't like it, I didn't like it. Like it was a lot, and I was stressed, but I'm like, Lord, it was like when it happened, a peace came over me. Even though I was not happy with where I was at, it was like a peace came over me that was like, okay, Kendra. God was like, I got you. Like, you don't like this, but just sit still right now. I got you. So yeah, when I originally moved in, I told myself, I said, Kendra, I'm going to give you 6 months. Like, in 6 months, find you another place in 6 months. And so, I'm like, okay, Kendra, we're going to do this. Okay? So, earlier this year, I want to say, yeah, maybe December, January, I had in my head, I was like, you know what? I want to get me a townhome or something. Like, I wanted to purchase. And I was like, maybe I should just start focusing on purchasing instead of trying to get an apartment. And so that's what I was thinking about at first. I had got me a credit repair person to start working on my credit and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to give myself a year. And at the end of 2023, I'm going to start looking for me a townhome. And it was so weird, like around the time of New Year's when I was making my prayer board and stuff, like I started seeing a different vision. And I started seeing like windows. Like I knew that my next place was gonna have windows where it was gonna be a lot of daylight coming in. And so I didn't know exactly what that meant at first, but I'm like, okay, windows. So something in me was like, can't you just start looking at places? Like, and it was like I got out of my head like the whole like buying thing. Something was just telling me not yet, like it's not time yet. So I just started looking. I want to say in like January, I just started looking at places. Mind you, I really didn't have much in place to be able to get a place. Plus, I was still paying back the last apartment, which I've gotten most of that paid off. So I'm not worried about that now. But I was like still paying that back and still like trying to get myself together. I had some business plans that I wanted to put in place before I moved and stuff. Like I had all of these things in my head that I wanted together before I moved. So it was weird to me to be looking at apartments. So yeah, January I was like, you know, I'm just gonna start looking. I think February is when I officially started like looking. And so in my head I was thinking, okay, if it's gonna have windows, it has to be a high rise, like it has to be something like that. And then I was thinking maybe I should do like downtown. For those who don't know, I'm in Dallas, so I'm like, maybe I should do downtown. Mind y'all, I hate downtown. Okay, I hate it. I hate being down there. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. But I was, for some reason, I'm just like, let me just start looking downtown at apartments, which was so weird. Okay, it was so weird. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try to get a 2-bedroom. I'll just sacrifice and just have to be working in my living room and my dining room. I'll just get a 1-bedroom. But we'll get a high rise. So I started looking. I had an apartment locator originally that was looking for apartments for me, and she was doing great. She had sent me a lot of good options and stuff like that. But me being me, I be doing, anytime I hire somebody to do something, I also be doing it with them. Oh, sorry, it's a toxic trait. But anyway, so I was looking too along with her looking. And so I went and I looked at these apartments that on paper literally would have been everything that I was looking for. It was in my budget. It was a high rise. It had the windows, you know, it was like a luxury type of apartment, stuff like that. And I went and they showed me 3 different units because they have like 4 different properties in the same area. So she showed me 3 different units. And y'all, when I tell y'all, it was like I walked in all of them and I just like, this not it. I'm like, this not it. Because before I got started, I prayed. I said, God, you know, I need you to show me where you want me to be. Like, I don't want to go anywhere that you didn't call me to go. And if you're not in it, I don't want it. So show me where you want me to be. So I went to those apartments and I did not, like, it was like not, I didn't have no peace about it. And so after that, I left and I was like, no, this is not it. Like, this is not it. And so after that, like, I was having like just different random conversations with people, friends and stuff like that. And it was so crazy that like I literally had 3 different people bring up this one apartment. It was like, why won't you go and move to such and such? Because like I feel like that would be perfect for you. So mind y'all, backstory on these apartments. Well, really they're lofts, but I'm just gonna say apartments. But the backstory on these apartments is I have been coming to these apartments for years. Like, I think I first came to these apartments in 2016. And because there's a lot of creatives and stuff that tend to live here. So there's people with like, they get one of the lofts and they turn it into a business loft, or they live here but they do business in here as well, stuff like that. So I've been coming here for a good 7 years. Not one time that I came here was I like, yeah, girl, you need to stay here. You need to stay here. This is for you. Okay. So when they was telling me, when these people was bringing it up, I'm like, no, I'm not finna go stay over there. Like, no. Because y'all, so on top of the fact that I never just picture myself there, the second thing is like, it's a very like, what's the word I want to use? It's one of those like character style buildings. Like, I'm more of a modern girl. Like, I want white, I want granite, I want, you know, y'all get what I'm coming from. You know, I'm that girl, okay? So these apartments are like industrial, like loft style. Like, there's brick walls and like big old huge columns, and like it's all of this like random industrial style stuff, and it just was not me. And so I'm like, no, I don't want to stay there. And the crazy part is too, not only have I been here, you know, visited here for like 7 years, but 7 years, yeah, the number of completion, that's weird. Okay, anyway, so not only have I been visiting here for 7 years, but I have been working out here for the past, I feel like we started in November. So for about 4 or 5 months, I've been working out here because I have a personal trainer, and he trains me in the gym that's in the basement of this loft. So even with that, even with me being here 2 to 3 times a week, I never imagined me staying here. So what happened was, I had a gym session one morning, and the night before, my mom had brought up the apartments, and she don't even remember bringing it up. That's how crazy it is. But my mom brought it up. And so she kind of was like, I want to say she maybe had been like the 3rd person to bring these apartments up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just finna look it up, and I'm just going to schedule a tour. Mind y'all, like I said, I've been into these apartments, but I still scheduled a tour because I'm like, let me just schedule a tour. So the next day before my gym session, I prayed, and then I went to the tour. And it's a self tour. They do self tours now. So you go in by yourself. They give you the keys. You go in by yourself. So I go in to these units, y'all. They showed me a 1-bedroom. They showed me a 2-bed, 2-bath. But they showed me 3 units. So it was 2-bed, 2 baths, and then it was 1 bedroom. I went into these units, y'all, and I kid y'all not, I literally fell in love. And it was so weird. It was so weird because I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Like, it was like God had turned my heart for it, and I literally fell in love. And I'm literally walking in, like, I walked from unit to unit, and by the last unit I was like, Lord, it's no way I'm gonna be able to have this. Like, this is literally everything that I would need. There's no way I'm gonna be able to have this. Like, I'm already saying this to myself, like, girl, just already get over it, because this ain't for you, okay? You're not gonna be able to get this. So I went and I talked to the leasing agent. She gave me all the information for if I decide to apply and all of that stuff. And y'all, these apartments, these lofts are hot commodities, okay? People be trying to get here. So these leave quick. So I left, and I was on the phone with a friend. And no, I skipped a major part. So as I was viewing the property, the elevator was going really slow, y'all. Like, the elevator was taking forever to come. And I literally was like on like I want to say the 8th floor or the 6th floor. And I just decided to take the stairs because I'm like, forget it. I'm not finna keep waiting on this elevator. So I'm going down the stairs and I hear a small, still voice in my head that tells me something, which I can't disclose to y'all yet because it's going to be a separate testimony. God already told me to be quiet about that until it comes into fruition. But he tells me something on the stairs. And I heard it, but I just like, okay. And then I kept walking. So once I left from the viewing, I still had about like, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes before my personal training session was supposed to start. So I called my friend and I was just talking to him like, you know, so I just viewed these apartments. I said, and so, see, I'm the type of person, even when I know the answer, I'm still going to ask you for your answer. So I asked her, I said, when you need to know like whether God wants you to do something or not, like when you need confirmation from something, what is your process? Like, what do you do? And she was like, well, you know, for one, I pray. And she was like, and normally God just gives me some type of peace about it. Like once I have that peace about it, then I'll know or not know. And so she was like, but you know, you have a good relationship with God. You know, if you're seeking him, which you have already been, he's going to let you know. You know, he's going to let you know whether, you know, you need to go there or not. She was like, why do you ask? I'm like, well, I'm asking because I just viewed these apartments and I'm literally in love with them, but I don't know if this is where he wants me at. And I don't know, like, as much as I love it, I don't want to be here if it's not, like, if this is not where he want me to be. Because also, too, y'all, another thing that was stressing me out was it was also above the budget. Okay? It was above the budget. So I was like, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is where I really need to be. So we're talking, and she was just telling me, we're talking about God, and we're just, you know, talking about, and then she ends up, when I tell her what the apartments were, she was like, I literally, like, before you even said that, she was like, when you told me you were apartment looking, those were the first apartments that came to my mind that I felt like you should be it. So now, mind y'all, this is like the 4th person to tell me this. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. She was like, yeah, I literally drove by there like last week or the week before, and I literally thought about you as I was driving by. She was like, it's so weird. So then we're talking and just about like God's confirmation and stuff like that. Y'all, while we're talking, she literally says out of her mouth what God had just told me on the stairs 30 minutes prior. And I was sitting there with my mouth wide open, like, and I literally just burst into tears because I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I told her, I said, bro, God literally just told me that on the stairs. And she was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, of course I wouldn't have known. I said, I know, that's what's crazy. I'm like, this is what's crazy. And so I immediately knew then. I said, no, okay, this is it. This is it. This is where I need to be. Because it was just confirmation after confirmation. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the leap of faith. I'm gonna do it. And so I went and while I was in my training session, y'all, I'm over here applying for these apartments. So it was one particular apartment, which was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath that she had for me. And so I'm on here applying for these apartments, y'all, and it was not working. It was not working. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, every time I would finish the application, it would start over. And I'm like, why do you keep doing this? Like, I was getting so irritated. Like, y'all, I started the application up like 5 or 6 times. So I got frustrated. I called the leasing office and I'm like, look, this application is tripping. I don't know what's going on. Then it got to a point where it was starting to show that the apartment wasn't even available anymore. And so she was like, well, you know, once you click your unit, like, it'll hold that unit for 30 minutes. So it's probably just showing that, you know, the unit that you had already held is still, you know, being held. So that's why it's showing it's not available. And so she was like, just give it another 30 minutes and then we'll go from there. So basically, once my training session finished, I went down to the leasing office, because mind you, I trained in the building. So I went down to the leasing office, and she was like, so I figured out what it was. I figured out why, you know, you couldn't do it. It's because somebody else was in there at the same time as you, and their application went all the way through before yours. So somebody else now has the unit. So I was like, oh. I was like, are you kidding me? And they was like, she was like, no. So at this point, I'm like, well, forget it. Like, y'all, I was instantly defeated. I was finna just go. And she was like, well, do you want me to try to see if I could find something else? And I'm like, I guess, like, yeah, I was done. I was over it. And so she ended up finding another unit that was a 2-bed, 2-bath, that was only a couple of dollars more than the other unit was. So literally I was getting way more bang for my buck. And so I was like, this is crazy. And so I had applied for it right then and there, because I told her, I said, look, let me turn this. Oh, my other bulb went out. Anyway, it's starting to get dark now, so I'm turning my little light on. But I was like, this is crazy. So I applied, and so now what's the stressful process, y'all? So once I left, I called my friend back. I let her know what happened. And I'm like, man, the devil was busy. He wouldn't let me apply, and yada yada yada. And she was like, well, who said it was the devil? Like, we give the devil too much credit. And she was like, who said it was the devil? That was God. She was like, that place was never for you that you originally was applying for. God had bigger for you. You still think it's small. God had bigger for you. And I'm like, oh my God, you are right. You are right. So I was just like, I was in such like, whew, like my mind was blown. And so once I finished that, I applied. So then I had to, prove my income and stuff like that, which, like I told y'all, I'm self-employed. So I had not looked back at my income since I moved back in, because, when you live in the day-to-day, you feel broke. So I'm thinking in my head like, Lord, I don't even know how I'm finna get approved, because I don't even know if my income, because y'all know now you gotta make 3 times the income. Plus, like I just told y'all, this place was already above my budget. So I'm sitting here like, not only is it above my budget, but I gotta make 3 times it. And then this place, when you self-employed, they make you show 6 months of bank statements. Now the other apartments I had lived in, they only wanted to see 1 month. The most I think was 3. These apartments wanted to see 6. So I was like, that was literally around the time that I started living with my mom. So I'm like, I don't even know if my income matches that. So I left there, and I had to go to the fabric store, and I sat in the fabric store parking lot. I was getting all of my statements together, because I have like 4 different banks that I use. So I was sitting there like just physically writing everything down, just trying to see like what my income was for each month. And I kid y'all not, I'm looking at this, and I literally had made 3 times the income each one of those months. Like, some of those months I had made over it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so that's when, transparency moment, that's when God was like, you worried about paying the rent, and I've been covering you this whole time. I've been providing for you this whole time. The rent is not the issue. The issue is the management. So let's work on the management. Let's work on figuring out how to multiply this, how to save, how to invest, how to do all those things. And so I'm like, wow, okay. All right, got you. So that was eye-opening for me. And so turned all that in. And y'all, oh child, y'all, I was stressed, y'all. I was stressed because what normally takes like 2 days, my approval took weeks, y'all, weeks, because my agent that I had ended up being out for like a week because she was sick. But then kind of find out she stopped working there. And so I had to get a whole new agent, and then I had to get all it. Then, oh y'all, it was just so much. It was so much. It was stuff I had to prove. It was like it was a lot going on. And honestly, y'all, I was starting to get like, all right, now, apparently this ain't for me because it's too much. It's too much going on. This supposed to be easy, okay? But then I had to keep reminding myself, well, Kendra, remember what God told you. And if he told you that means this gotta be your place. So I'm like, okay, Kendra, all right. So I ended up going on a 3-day fast. Now, this 3-day fast was not involving the place. It was involving something else that I was fasting on. But during that fast, the first night, God had put on my spirit about the unit number that I had. And he told me to like look it up, and I didn't pay any attention to it at that time. So then the next day I had did a walk on there's a hiking trail here called Prayer Mountain. It's at a church, and it was gonna rain that day, which I did not know. So they had the main hiking trail closed down, but they still had like a little small one just around the church. So I just stayed. I was like, I'm here. I'm finna walk. Even if I gotta walk 5 yards, I'm finna walk. And I'm finna talk to God. I'm finna, yeah. So I'm just walking, talking to God. I ended up watching a sermon and stuff. Like, I was out there for a good, like, maybe 2 hours. And I got in my car, and I didn't drive off immediately. And I was sitting in my car, and it came to my head again, your unit number, look at your unit number. So I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, God, okay, this is your second time seeing this, so let me look it up. So I'm like, how do I even find my unit number? I thought about it. I said, oh wait, go to your application gonna have it on there. So I find my application, I find the unit number, and I'm like, okay, so what do I do with this? So I go, and so I have like a spiritual sister. She's older than me. She's in her 40s, but God gives her dreams about me. And she's like someone that I go to like for guidance, for counsel and stuff like that. But then also, like I said, God randomly like gives her dreams and messages to tell me. So I text her and I asked her, I said, hey, so you know, I'm not really big on the whole like number thing and stuff like that. I really don't believe in angel numbers and all of that stuff. I said, but just biblically wise, do these 3 numbers mean anything? And because, you know, like, you know, 7 is the number of completion, stuff like that. So I'm thinking like in that way, like, do any of these numbers mean anything biblically? And so I didn't tell her why I was asking. And so she was like, well, you know, that number normally means this and that number normally means that. She was like, but why are you asking? Because, you know, you got to be careful with stuff like that. You don't really want to get into the whole angel number thing. You know, you want to be careful that you're not like going into like the whole angel number thing and stuff like that. And, you know, it could get a little tricky or whatever. She was like, but, you know, just biblically wise, you know, this number normally means this and this number normally means that. And so when I tell y'all, my mind was blown, and I wish I could go into more detail, but I can't because this is part of the other testimony. But y'all, literally those numbers represented what he told me on the stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, God is so meticulous to the point where you done gave me a freaking unit. That's why the other apartment didn't work out. Like, you gave me, it was so down to the science where he literally gave me the apartment with the unit number that represented where he was about to take me. Like, I was like, God, you are funny. Okay, sorry, y'all. I reached my maximum time limit on that recording. But anyway, so I'm like, God, you are funny. Like, that is crazy. So, anyway, I was like, okay, God, I know for sure this is my place. Like, it's no doubt about it now. I just gotta wait. So, y'all, tell y'all, the Lord is still working on me and my patience, because my patience was thin, honey. Because even after that, it still took like a week, maybe 2 after that. Like, y'all, it was such a long process. But it just was building my faith and my neck. But anyway, it was just building up my patience and stuff like that. So I waited and I waited, and y'all, I finally got the approval. But the crazy part is, that's why you gotta be, y'all gotta be careful when you let God lead you, because God just be doing stuff, okay? Because the original unit that I was gonna get was not supposed to have me move until May 28th. The unit that he gave me was finna have me move in April 1st, which meant I literally had, from the time I applied, I had like 30 days. And from the time I actually got approved, I had like 2 weeks. So I was like, Lord, this is quick. This is happening quick. But God be like, ma'am, when I grab your hand, you better run, okay? That's what he said. That's what he meant. So I'm like, okay, Lord, well, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done, because moving is expensive. Moving is expensive, okay? But I got it done, y'all. And I'm here in my place. And y'all, I was so stressed. Like, so many fees came up that had to be paid. Like, I got a lot of stuff, y'all. I had stuff at my mama house, stuff at storage. Like, I had so much stuff. So like, movers was expensive. Like, it was just a lot. But I'm telling y'all, like, every single piece that I was worried about, God worked it out. And I'm just like, Lord, I thank you. Like, this is amazing. And the thing is, I would be lying to y'all if I said I'm not still nervous, that I'm not still scared, because I am. I'm just trying not to walk in that, because I'm like, at the end of the day, if this is truly where God led me to be, then that means he's going to make the provision for it, and he's going to take care of me. And it may not be easy, but it's going to get done. So I'm trying to keep reminding myself that, because, you know, the devil likes to remind you, well, you failed the other time, or you failed that other time, but you remember what happened the last time, you know. So, and those thoughts do come up, but I'm just casting down imaginations, like the Bible says, and just remembering that God is my shepherd. Just remembering. And but yeah, so one day soon, y'all will get the second testimony, because I know God is going to bring that to pass soon and very soon. But and I can't wait to give y'all that one, because y'all, that one is going to be crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to come and share this testimony with y'all, because, you know, they say, well, the Bible says to put God first in everything that you do. And, you know, people really don't. Like, people may feel like this is minuscule. Is that how you say minuscule? Small. You know, including God and getting your place. But I'm literally, like, I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, God, if you ain't in it, I don't want it. I don't want it. Because I want what you have for me. I want your best for me. So, I just want to encourage everybody to, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Include God in it. Ask for his guidance. Because when he is in it, he creates provision. He moves mountains. And I've seen him do it. And so I'm so excited to see what this next chapter is going to be in my life. I'm so excited to see what he brings me to and through during this next season. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with y'all. Comment below if any of this resonated with y'all. Comment below and let me know if y'all want to see anything or y'all want to hear any other testimonies. I am gonna be uploading like an empty loft tour. I'll be uploading more hauls as they come in, because your girl pockets is thin right now, so I can't tell y'all when the next time I'm gonna buy something, but I can give y'all apartment tours. So the living room is just about finished. I got a couple more things that I need to get before that's completely finished, before I actually show it to y'all. But I am going to be posting the empty apartment tour, and once everything is completely furnished, I'll be posting a furnished apartment tour, loft tour. I keep saying apartment, it's a loft. It's no doors in here. But yeah, so that is it, you guys. I thank y'all so much for coming, stopping, listening. Make sure y'all comment and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good day, evening, night, whatever it is. Bye bye, toodles.